Alright, gang. Here's the deal. It's the fourth time, I think the fourth time, I've sat down to record this video. And we're gonna get it done this time. We're gonna get done for you. And I thought I had it done the last time. And then I listened to the video. And the dog was chewing on a very large steak bone behind me throughout the whole thing, and he was just like crunching away on this steak bone, and it was so loud in the video, ruined the whole video. So here we go again, take four. Welcome to the official Daybreak Enterprises YouTube channel. This is kind of a welcome video slash Daybreak history video. And we're going to kind of just lay it all down. We're going to lay down the history of Daybreak. We're going to lay down what is Daybreak, why did I personally start this business, what are my plans for Daybreak. And we're going to try to do it all in a reasonable time frame. So let's just jump right into it. So, Daybreak's not a new thing. I know it seems like a new thing because it seems like a new thing because I just started the business like 2-3 months ago. But Daybreak's not a new thing. Daybreak's actually a very old thing. And Daybreak started back in, what would it be, 2000, it's like 2008 and 2009, I think. So what's that, like 15 years ago? It all started way back then. And actually, so Daybreak's original, and there might only be one person that I know that even knows this. So Daybreak actually was the name of a group or like a team of people that I played computer games with back when I was a teenager. And it was a large group or a large team or whatever you want to call it. And we had people from all over the country. We had people really all over North America because we had a bunch of Canadian people in it. And we played computer games together online and competitively and had a lot of fun together. And I remember being a teenager back then thinking, wow, Daybreak's such a cool name. And I don't remember how exactly the name came about. I don't believe that I was like the original person that used the name or came up with the name. But I remember thinking it was a really great name. And I also had the thought that it would be a really cool name for a band. So anyway, yeah, so we played games together online and did that whole thing and kind of moved on. And I grew up, I got older. I actually graduated high school. They didn't throw me out, which was a big shout out to Tim Freeman for not throwing me out of Westlake High School. But yeah, so got into my 20s and I lo and behold started that band that I thought the name Daybreak would be really cool, and it didn't like pop into my head right away. Then I kind of remembered that I used to be with that group of people and we called ourselves Daybreak, and I was like, yeah, that was a cool name. I'm gonna name the band that. I'm gonna name the band Daybreak. And yeah, so I named our band Daybreak, and we did our band thing. We did what bands do. We played music, and I wrote a bunch of music, and we got some demo tapes recorded and played shows and had like maybe 10 fans. I think we probably made like $60, and we did that whole thing, and it was fun. It was a blast. Like I had tons of fun, you know, playing music. You know, the fun was more about like, and the memories and everything, like the fond memories that I have of that time more so relate to hanging out with my bandmates and like just screwing around and like just hanging out with each other like all the time and just, you know, doing dumb stuff. And um, that's like the fondest memory I have, you know, from from the days of like Daybreak in music form. But yeah, so you know, we did our thing. We played shows, and um, but you know, it kind of got to the point where me and my bass player slash very very close friend, we sort of just had this conversation at one point where we were struggling in like the scene. We were struggling being around a lot of the people that we were sort of like not forced, but like the people that we ended up being associated with like weren't necessarily people that we wanted to be associated with, unfortunately, you know. And like we I personally struggled playing. I struggled to like settle in playing live. It was just not something that I could get used to. I didn't feel like I played very well. I didn't enjoy it very much. You know, playing like live music, that's like supposed to be like the best part of playing in a band. Like you're engaging with your fans, and you're playing and you're rocking and rolling and just kicking butt, you know. And like, but for me, it was just like, it was just stressful. It was like, you know, I was just like worried about something going wrong, and something was always going wrong. Like somebody was always screwing something up, and I just didn't enjoy it. And I had way more fun playing, like just rehearsing or just like sitting and like messing around and just like writing music. Like that was the fun part for me. I didn't have a lot of fun playing live, and I wasn't necessarily like enjoying like the places and the people that we were, you know, playing with. And so yeah, so we kind of just made the mutual decision that we were gonna kind of hang it up. We were just gonna like hang up the whole like Daybreak band thing and kind of move on and do like our separate things. And yeah, so we did, and we sort of went our separate ways. I mean, I'm still, you know, friends with those guys, and you know, and they're still like my good friends, and we talk all the time. And but I sort of, you know, moved on, and you know, I think there is like there's always like the part of me. There's like certain people I think that sort of like it's have to be like expressing themselves creatively, and I'm definitely one of those people. I feel like I'm always kind of working on something, you know, if I'm not like writing music or I'm doodling or like, you know, I'm doing like stuff, and I'm always just like I gotta be like creating something and working on something, and doesn't necessarily have to be good, you know. I'm not really that worried about that, but like I just always need to be like working on something and doing something creative. And I don't think I was really like done with music at that point, like completely. I still played a ton of guitar. I still wrote a ton of music, and I sort of had this idea in my head that I was gonna do like a solo thing. I wanted to be like a solo artist, and kind of do like the solo artist thing. And I had this like vision of like how I was gonna do it, and I had some actually like kind of good stuff recorded, stuff that I liked. stuff that I like to play, which, some stuff like that you write when you play music, like some stuff sounds good, but it's not necessarily like fun to play, if that makes sense. And but like I had stuff that I enjoyed playing, and but I just didn't have it in me to like get back out there and put myself back out. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I don't really care, about all that. People can have their own opinion of me. I don't care. I'm not afraid to put myself out there, but what I was not necessarily interested in was getting back out there playing shows like in places that I didn't want to play, playing in front of people I didn't want to play. I just didn't have the drive. I wasn't like that hungry of an artist or like that desperate of an artist where I was like gonna play anywhere in front of anybody for any amount of money. I wasn't at that place, and I was and that's I mean really at the end of the day, that's if you're playing music, like that's where you have to be. You have to be willing to play in front of four people. You have to be willing to play in that like super shady bar. You have to be willing to play like you have to be willing to do anything, and you have to be willing to grind. And I just didn't have that in me. I didn't have it in me to get out there and, play in front of three people that I didn't know or like very much. It was just like not something I was interested in doing. So yeah, so I sort of just like shelved um I kind of shelved all that stuff. I just kind of packed it away on hard drives, and I still play guitar, and I'm always writing guitar riffs. I'm always writing like little things here and there, and who knows what the future holds? Who knows if could do something again with somebody? Who knows? Like I meet somebody who's got a drum kit in their basement, and I bring a guitar and an amp over, and boom, we have a band. You know what I mean? So it's like you never know what's gonna happen. Um, but for right now, yeah, I'm not really like writing music currently, or like I don't have any like immediate plans on like playing music again or having a band again. And yeah, so I I guess yeah, you can like fast forward to like this last summer and the summer of 2022, and I was again sort of in a place where it was like the wheels are spinning. The wheels for me are just kind of always spinning. Like if I'm not like I've always like got to be working on something and trying to make something, and I was gonna get back into like painting again and like starting to like do more like serious painting with acrylics. Um, Back in my early 20s, I did some painting with watercolors and like did some little bit of painting with acrylics, and like I was planning on sort of just like building a studio in my basement and just kind of because I had some ideas of some stuff I wanted to do. And but anyway, I also sort of started thinking about this like I had this like one sort of like t-shirt design in my head that sort of popped up, and kind of like the big so I think a lot of businesses, it kind of sounds cliche, but like a lot of businesses, they sort of like find their niche, or they sort of find like um they figure out what what people need, or what they figure out what people need that what people didn't know that they didn't know they needed. And you kind of find your niche as a business, or you sort of find your foothold, you find your way into a market. And like for me, I sort of have noticed like this trend over the last couple of years of a lot of clothing brands doing like these like the best way to describe it is like fake tie dye and like fake discharge dyeing and fake acid washing. And every time I see it, I walk by and I'm like, man, that looks terrible. Like, what a joke. But like, look, if at the end of the day, if people like it and people buy it, like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what you should or shouldn't buy. I'm just telling you like what my opinion of it was, and like if you like wearing that stuff, then and that makes you happy and you're comfortable, like then by all means, rock out. Um, but like for me, I was just kind of like I always have seen that stuff and just been like, wow, that looks awful. Like, and I sort of had it in my head that I was like, well, like I can dye stuff and I can, discharge dye stuff and acid wash stuff and make it look crazy and make it look appealing and make it like look like something that I would want to wear. And I've always sort of, another thing with me, I've always really liked like the all over print. I've always liked, like a camo shirt or like a leopard print shirt or like a tiger stripe shirt, like a shirt that's just like an all over print. Like there's like a pattern going over the whole thing. That's what I mean when I say all over. And like that's how tie dye is. Like the whole shirt is like the whole thing is a pattern. And I've always kind of been into those kind of shirts. And so anyway, yeah, I was painting my house this last summer, and this house that I'm sitting, this is a house that I'm sitting in, and it's my house. And I was painting this house last summer, and I had this idea in my head about this T-shirt that I wanted to make, and I had this like design, and I was thinking, and I was like, like I could make this, and I could sell like 200 of them, like really easily, and 200 or more, I could sell 500 of them probably. At least I had that in my head, and I was like, what? But I want to do the whole thing. I want to do the whole thing from start to finish. I want to dye the shirts. I want to print on top of them. I want to mock up the graphics and do all that myself, and get the printing and like do all the printing myself. And I've always had like a vague understanding of like how printing works and how screen printing works. And um it was just like a matter of like actually like buying the equipment and like committing to like getting the practice and like really get it down. And yeah, so I just had this idea for this shirt, and lo and behold, I haven't even released that shirt yet. That design is kind of shelved right now, and I'm waiting for a specific time of year to release that shirt. But yeah, I just started, messing around, and I started, doing all kinds of crazy dyeing, and messing around with different chemicals to do different kind of discharge dyeing, and doing all this wild stuff. And I kind of always say this, like I didn't really like make a decision to start a business. The excuse me, the like decision that I made was to buy printing equipment and commit to getting like really good at printing, like to the point where I could do like contract printing and printing for other people, and printing for myself too. So like that's like the big decision that I made. And then as a result of making that decision to get like really good at printing, I started making some money, and I started, doing some printing projects for other people and custom printing and whatnot. And if anybody knows, when you start making money and generating income, there has to be like a reason. The government would like to know, like, well, why are you making all this money? So I was like, well, I'm just going to start a business then. I'm going to start a business and make this thing official, and like start actually like reporting income and like keeping track of all this stuff and make it legit. You know what I mean? And like, and yeah, just like a funny side note, there's not a lot of people that know this, but we actually weren't going to be called Daybreak at first. We were actually going to be called Lust. Lust Industries is what we were going to be called. And I had done some really good graphics, and I had some really good logos done, and I actually had like a bag of Lust t-shirts in my house somewhere, and I'm saving those for a later date. I might auction them off for charity or like do something like that. And yeah, and I got really close to actually like registering the LLC as Lust Industries and launching the business as Lust Industries. And then I had some talks with some people that I trust, and I'm gonna tell a really quick story. So there was this billboard on I-71 North here in Cleveland, and there was a billboard over the summer of like 2022 on I-71 North, right when you get past the airport. And the billboard said it was like one of those like Jesus like tent revival like kind of billboards that like Jesus is gonna like save you from going to hell or whatever, like one of those kind of billboards. And it said on one side of the billboard, it said shackled by lust question mark, Jesus sets you free. And I tried getting a picture almost because me in my head, I'm like, oh wow, that's going to be so cool. Like that's such cool branding for me because I'm going to name my business Lust. So I was like trying to get pictures of this billboard with my Polaroid camera. And if anybody knows anything about the new Polaroid cameras, is that they're awful cameras. And there's virtually no control over the exposure. And the exposure is how much light the camera allows to pass through the lens. So trying to get good photos with these new Polaroid cameras is miserable. And I could not get a picture of this billboard. I swear I probably took like 10 shots. And I mean, nowadays Polaroid film is like $2 a shot. And so that's like $20. And yeah, I probably took 10 shots of this billboard. Could not get a good picture. I could not. It was just like kept coming out overexposed, and then I would try to go back on like a cloudy day, and then it was like underexposed, and you couldn't see it, and it was a nightmare. And I couldn't get a picture of this billboard. And at the same time, I had had some talks with some people that I trust about the name Lust not necessarily being like a great name for a business for a variety of reasons. Um, and then not being able to get those shots of the billboard, me being the superstitious and um, like somewhat spiritual religious person, the part of my head was like, wow, this is a sign, right? Like I can't get a picture of this billboard. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I shouldn't name the business Lust. And I slept on it, and then I woke up the next day, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not naming it Lust, and it's too much negative energy. I can't even get a picture of that billboard. Like I can't do this, and that's when it came into my head. Like Daybreak has kind of been like a creative thing for me, and why don't I just kind of recycle the Daybreak name again? And there you have it. That's why I named it Daybreak, and then I got us. I registered us as an LLC back in November of 2022, and here we are now, a few months later, doing a bunch of cool stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the story. The really like super quick version of like how we got to like where we are now. Basically, I needed to do something. I needed another creative outlet. Like I needed it, and I didn't feel like starting another band. Um, I do like a little bit of like drawing and like artwork stuff like that, but I don't have like a full blown like studio that I'd like to have. But this has been like a huge like creative outlet for me. I feel like I'm been able to like really express myself in like a very like genuine way. I feel like everything that I'm making is stuff that I like. I don't feel like I'm making anything that I don't feel like I'm making anything that I don't like. I don't feel like I'm making anything just to like sell just to like sell some t-shirts to somebody, even if I don't really like the design that much. Like that's not how I feel at all. I feel like I really like everything we have doing. I think we launched our website here pretty recently, and I like couldn't be happier with our like wine and gold collection. We launched our website with our wine and gold collection, and I couldn't be happier with our wine and gold collection. Like I love the shirts, like I really do, and I love making them. I love making them for people. I mean, people have been so supportive, like getting their orders in for the reverse dyes, and I love the solid prints too. You know what I mean? I don't want. That's the thing about this business and like this clothing line or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know if it's weird. I don't know if like our apparel is really a clothing line. To me, I look at it more as Daybreak merchandise. And I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between a clothing line and brand merchandise. And to me, I kind of view our stuff as maybe a little bit of both. But like I look at it more so as brand merchandise. And anyway, I didn't want to get like our merchandise or our clothing line, like I didn't want it to be labeled as just like a tie-dye clothing line or get labeled as a designer, someone who designs clothes. I didn't want to get labeled as just like a guy who does tie-dye. I wanted to be able to like make solid print shirts because not everybody likes tie-dye, right? Like I don't like wearing tie-dye every day. I don't, I don't wear it. I don't wear it all the time. I wear it sometimes. I like it. I like it more than most people, so I wear it more often. But like, I like solid stuff. I like black. I wear tons of black, and like, I like solid pink stuff, and like, I like that kind of stuff. And it was really important to me with the clothing that our original Daybreak apparel that we have a lot of solid stuff and we have good solid designs for people that don't like tie-dye very much. You know what I mean? So that's always something I don't want to get pigeonholed out or like labeled as just like the tie-dye brand or like the tie-dye company. Truth of the matter is we're gonna get labeled that, and that's fine, right? Like there's worse things to get labeled as. Um, but like at the end of the day, I want to be able to have designs for people that don't necessarily like tie-dye that much, or like tie-dye is just like too much for them or too loud. They want something like more subtle. And I think our wine and gold collection, like our solid prints, like our black and gold and our wine and gold solid prints, I think those are just like super, super solid designs that I'm like really happy with. I'm happy with the graphics and everything. And I spent like maybe a total of 10 minutes drawing them, so that's always nice too. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm happy with where we're at right now. I'm really, I got a like this project that I'm working on for somebody that um, I'm trying to kind of keep under wraps right now, and until I'm done working on it and the product is available to be purchased. So it's like to me, I kind of look at like, my sort of approach is I'm not necessarily like explosive growth is awesome, and like explosive growth would be like an amazing thing, right? Like I'd love to wake up tomorrow and have like, I don't know, 500 orders. Like that would be really cool. It would be scary because I don't know how I would fulfill those very quickly. But at the same time, to me, I'm a lot more concerned about like organic, steady growth over a long period of time, and that I'm a lot more concerned about that kind of growth, that like steady, organic, like really good growth where like my relationships with my customers is like really well. I can engage with my customers. I'm picking their brains about how's everything fitting, how's everything washing, how are the prints holding up. Like I like being able to have those kind of conversations with my customers because quality is to me is the most important thing. Like quality and like fit and feel of our apparel is by far the most important thing. And I want to be known as somebody who does really high quality work. And that's really important to me. That's like the most important thing. And then along with that high quality work is like customer satisfaction. I want my customers to be happy. I want anybody that spends their hard. I mean, it's hard out there. I mean, right now everything's expensive, right? So if somebody is willing to spend the extra money that they do have on some of our clothing, like I want them to be incredibly happy with what they get. I really do. I want them to be really happy with what they get, and I want our apparel to be their favorite stuff to wear, like hands down. I kind of have this theory about clothing, and we're going to talk about men first. So I feel like men sort of have like their drawer of t-shirts, right? And then out of that drawer of t-shirts, they might have 10 t-shirts that they rotate out wearing. And then of those 10 t-shirts, they have like maybe 1, 2, or 3 t-shirts out of those 10 that are their like top 3, like their favorite 3 t-shirts to wear, like the shirts that they want to put on first. And kind of my approach and my philosophy is that if my Daybreak stuff isn't one of those top 3 shirts, then I'm not doing good enough. I'm not doing a good enough job. I'm not making apparel that's good enough to be at the very top of somebody's drawer. And that's sort of the way I look at my approach. And women are funny. Women are different, right? Like women, something I've noticed, women, okay, so one thing we all know, let's face it, I'm going to stereotype women here for a sec. Women have a lot of clothes. They have a lot of clothes. So if I sell something to a nice lady, she might only wear that thing once a month, right? She might only put it on once a month, or like, shoot, some women might only wear a shirt once every 2 months. It kind of finds its way into their abyss of a walk-in closet and gets pulled out every once in a while to get put on. But again, it kind of gets back to the exact same thing. Like if I can make something that, if my apparel, my women's apparel is something that somebody wants to wear like often, then that makes me really happy. You know what I mean? But I don't want my stuff to just be something that disappears in the closet, and they bought it, they liked it maybe when they tried it on, or then they washed it and it shrank a full size and then they don't want to wear it anymore. Like that's not what I'm trying to make. So quality and like that sort of customer satisfaction, that like long-term customer satisfaction is really important to me. And I'm okay being small right now and being able to have these like really like being able to help my customers like really well. I have my really good friends over at Excalibur Strength, who you can find them on Instagram, by the way. Excalibur Strength, they're a powerlifting team here in Northeast Ohio. Well, kind of all over Ohio, I think. And they're a really strong team. Probably, in my opinion, the strongest team in Ohio, as far as I'm aware. And anyway, Coach Tyler over there at Coach Tyler at Excalibur Strength, good friend of mine, and he trusted me enough to do some shirts for his team, and he was like one of my first like big custom printing jobs. And just being able to like, if he's like, hey, I need one more shirt, can you make me one more shirt? It's like, yeah, it's no big deal. I'm not going to be one of those printers that's going to be like, oh, you need one more shirt? Yeah, that's going to be $35. You know what I mean? I don't want to be one of those people. I don't want to be one of those printers. I want my customers to feel comfortable coming, hey, like, can we get 5 more shirts in this size? And like, yeah, sure, that might be a pain in the butt, but at the same time, like yeah, I mean, the customer's gonna get what the customer needs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here for you guys. I'm here. It's my job to make sure your needs and like your merchandising needs are taken care of at the end of the day. So like my feelings and like how I feel about like doing an extra shirt or two, like who cares? I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so let's see. Let's see. I just want to address maybe a couple questions really quick. Um so here's the thing, like people have been asking lots of questions and that's awesome. And I love when people ask me questions because I love answering questions and the fact that people are asking me a lot of questions tells me one thing. It tells me there's a lot of people that have questions and are not asking questions. And that's fine too. And we're going to try to address some questions that I know people are wondering and just don't, they're just too shy to ask or whatever. So, one of those questions is that I've gotten a lot from people is that am I trying to quit my day job? And just to preface this, like so everybody knows, so my day job and what I've done throughout my whole 20s is work in healthcare. And I work now as a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse now for maybe 7 years. And that's my job during the day. And I think some days I love it. I mean, it's kind of hard, right? Like healthcare, working as a nurse is hard work. And I love most of the people I work with. But no, I'm not trying to quit my day job. I did not start this business to run away from nursing. I think I think a lot of people are wondering that. And I've gotten that question from a lot of people have asked me like, oh, are you trying to get out of nursing? Like, are you trying to get out of healthcare? And the answer to that is like a resounding no. Like, I did not start this business to get out of nursing or healthcare. I have every intention of staying in healthcare at least part time for the foreseeable future. I mean, I'm not going to say who I work for, but they take really good care of me as far as like health insurance is concerned and stuff like that. And I don't have any reason right now to step away from healthcare and to step away from nursing and to step away from the bedside. I think, I love taking care of patients. I love interacting with patients. And, I had this talk with my mother and, she was kind of like, your patients need you. Your patients need you there. They need your spirit. They need your my weird, messed up, broken sense of humor. And I believe that, right? Like I think anybody that works in does the kind of work that I do, and whether it be healthcare or police work or like, firefighter, first responder work, like you feel a sense of duty, right? Like you feel like I feel a sense of duty. I feel like I need to be there for my patients and I feel like they need me. And I don't say that from a place of like, oh, I'm such like a great nurse. Like, look at me, like super nurse, like my patients need me. No, I say that like it's just a sense of duty. Like you get this sense of because someone's got to do it. Like that's the thing about hard jobs that people don't understand is that like somebody's got to do the hard jobs. Like somebody has to like work as a nurse like overnight and take care of grandma and grandpa. Like somebody's got to do that at the end of the day. And I guess that's like the sense of duty that I'm kind of talking about is I do feel like I need to be there. I need to be in the hospital in some capacity, right? Like right now, I'm still working full time and it's hard. Like I'm working basically 2 full-time jobs and it's brutal and it's like I'm exhausted. But I'll even, in the future if I have to go part-time and be part-time for a while, I think I'm going to be able to like balance that a lot better. And so yeah, to answer that question, no, not I'm not doing this to run away from nursing or to run away from healthcare because I don't run away from anything. And I haven't ran away from anything my entire life. I've looked everything directly in the face and ran right towards it. So no, I don't quit. I'm not a quitter, right? Like I don't quit things if they're hard, and I I stick it out. I stick it out, and I figure out a way to make it work. And that's really, I'm just gonna kind of leave that at that. But yeah. What else? Other questions that I could answer. No, you can't come to my house and get things. We run an online store. We offer free shipping on orders over 55. I think that's very generous. So you can go ahead and place your orders online and we'll get your stuff shipped out to you. And I'm not doing another quick question that I want to answer for people is that I'm not currently doing single custom orders. I'm too busy with other things. I don't have I'm not good enough at staying organized to do single custom orders like right now. Maybe like in the future when I figure out a way to do it in like a way that's more organized and makes more sense. For me, I will get back to doing like custom, like single custom orders where I can, I guess like the best scenario for that would be like I get like, let's say I get 20 custom orders over the course of 2 weeks, and then I sit down one day and just bang out all the custom orders. And that's kind of the model that I'll probably follow as far as like that's concerned. But right now, no, we're not doing any custom orders. We have lots of good stuff on our website, and if you don't like any of that stuff, then just stick around because we're going to be releasing lots of crazy stuff over the course of the next 1 to 2 years. Like, so eventually you're going to find something you do like. I promise you that. Yeah, let's see. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of things. I hope I've like kind of given people like a good idea of like what Daybreak Enterprises is. We have lots of big plans for the future, lots of stuff, lots of designs that are shelved, lots of big projects that are shelved, and you know I'm really excited. I'm really excited for what I think this business could turn into. I think it could turn into something like pretty special, and just to like couple like little news updates, I guess, like over the next like 6 to 12 months, like this summer especially, we're gonna get out and do a lot of live vending. We're gonna do a lot of pop-ups, just like random places, and pop up and do some vending and just kind of get out there and shake people's hands and meet people, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. But other than that, that's about all I got right now. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the support that we've been getting. It's been like unbelievable, and I'm. It says it right there in the Instagram bio. It says it right there on my website. Like I'm 10 toes on the floor. Like I'm like committed to this. I'm committed to you guys. I'm committed to my customers, and I'm committed to making this work for me and for my customers, and making the experience of working on a project with Daybreak Enterprises. I'm really committed to making that like a smooth, easy, fun experience, because I think that's important. I think working on projects for like merchandise and stuff is stressful, and I mean, anytime you're making an investment in your business, it's stressful. And if I can make that process a little bit more fun or a little bit less stressful, then that's definitely like my goal is to make it a little bit smoother for people. And I'm gonna sign out for right now. We're gonna have a lot more YouTube videos coming out. Please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel. You can hit the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video. Because I'm so entertaining, right? Like you guys if anyone's still here listening, if anyone survived the whole 45 minutes, like I give you guys props. But no, seriously, I appreciate it. And you can share, honestly, like sharing the videos, that's like something you can do that like really helps us a lot. Not just like these videos, like sharing our Instagram posts, that helps us tremendously. And just really trying to like spread the word of like what we're trying to do, and that's like super helpful. So all right, I'm signing out. I'm going to bed. The dog's waiting for me. He's probably mad that I'm in here talking to a computer screen. So take care, everybody. Talk soon.